Uh, Hi there. So, lately I've been kind of having this weird creative stint where I've been just kind of yearning to make some kind of video of some sort. And I used to do this when I was a lot younger, but I never really got anywhere, or I never really took any opportunities, and I was kind of too young and naive to really understand what stood out to people and what really like the whole point of this is. So I thought lately I've kind of had a little bit of motivation, and I thought I would just start making these videos where I have some beta Minecraft in the background, which is something I've also been rediscovering from my childhood that I find nice and enjoy nowadays, while I read some Reddit stories and just kind of go over the topics that are mentioned in these stories and speak about them. Anyways, I hope you all enjoy this. It's probably going to be a little bit of a longer type of video, so if you're into that, just, put it on in the background or just relax, get some popcorn, and watch, I suppose. So the first story is: Am I overreacting for not telling my husband? His mom texted me, "You're ruining our bloodline until after the baby was born." My husband, 30 male, and I, 28 female, just had our first child 2 months ago. We're happy, healthy, tired, all the usual new parent stuff. Here's the issue: I'm mixed, black and Korean, and my husband is white. His mom has always been, let's say, awkward about race. Passive comments, weird jokes, backhanded compliments. When we announced the pregnancy, she got weird. A little later, she texted me, and not him, and said, "I hope the baby favors our side. You're already diluting the bloodline." Oh my god, I can already tell with this that there's probably some old fashioned like racial racial discrimination going on, probably, which is just any kind of hatred towards anybody for their intrinsic just things about them. Their intrinsic traits is really not, it's not a very good thing to do. It's not a very good habit or tendency to have in life. Anyways, the story continues. I never replied. I blocked her number and didn't tell my husband. I knew he'd be furious, and we didn't need that stress during the pregnancy. After the baby was born, she made a comment about her pale little grandbaby. Oh my gosh. He's not pale, lol. I finally showed my husband the text. He lost it. Now his family is saying I'm the bad guy for keeping it from him and causing division. He's on my side, but I can tell he wishes he'd known earlier. Am I overreacting for waiting? Well, I feel like the obvious thing here is no. This is not an overreaction whatsoever. Um, I think that it makes a lot of sense to wait to bring this in to like bring this to attention to your husband, because one, it's his family, and he's probably like seeing their reaction to him starting a family and seeing that they're happy for him, and just garnering like the support for him and him trying to start a new life with you. I feel like it's very it's very touchy, like these kinds of situations, because timing is really important, and you guys were about to become new parents. You were both stressed, worried, happy all at the same time. There was a lot of things like going on here, and I guess just adding more to this doesn't really help. And I think you made, I don't know if it would have like helped if he had known sooner in any kind of way. I just know that it may have caused some more unneeded stress that you guys would have had during the pregnancy. And also, just as a clear and concise line to draw here is that obviously his parents are in the wrong for this. They are kind of, no, not kind of, they literally are being racist and prejudiced against you due to your ethnicity and color of your skin. And that's never a good thing to do. Prejudice, like, we all partake in judging people, at least in the beginning. Our minds would do it immediately. It's sort of built in, but the way to correct that is to just instill into yourself that it's wrong, and eventually it'll become instinctual to not judge people based on their skin color or based on any intrinsic traits that they have. And so, yeah, I don't think this was an overreaction whatsoever. I think you did the right thing, and you did the best thing that you could for the entire situation, for you and your husband and your baby. Okay. The next story. Am I the asshole for not letting my mother-in-law come over after she destroyed my Millennium Falcon Lego set? Now, I thought I would throw this one in because, well, it's just a little more lighthearted, so let's get into it. I, 38 male, live with my wife, 37 female, and my 7-year-old son. I work as an engineer, and my wife is a senior supervisor at a law firm. I have always loved Legos since I was a kid, and sure, it's kind of childish, but it makes me happy, so I've kept it as a consistent hobby throughout my adult life. Okay, pause for a second. Listen, Legos are one of those things I feel like, kind of like the footage that's playing in the background, this beta stuff, this beta Minecraft server that I've been invested in lately. I feel like these are like two things, at least personally for me, that I also would just consistently have that hobby throughout my life as well. It's okay to have things like that. I wouldn't consider it childish. I would just consider it maybe different from a lot of hobbies that just men in general have. But that's the thing that's unique about everybody, is they enjoy different things, and it's okay. Anyways, back to it. In 2024, I spent my months building the Millennium Falcon with my son. It's me and my son's pride and joy, and I often show guests who come over. My wife doesn't really get the hype, but doesn't mind it either. In early March, my wife's parents came over for a week to spend time with us. As I usually do with guests, I asked them if they would like to see my Lego collection. They agreed, and I showed both her father and mother my Millennium Falcon. Her father was amazed at the time it took to build my sizable collection, but her mother said that it was a waste of time and that I should focus on being a real man and move up the corporate ladder. I laughed it off because she's pretty old, and I figured she just held very old-fashioned beliefs. We left the room and nobody really mentioned it for a few hours, but at dinner her mother said out of nowhere that I should give up on all this Lego nonsense and be a real man. We ignored this and moved on, but you could see in her expression that she was not happy. Oh man, this is really frustrating me when I'm reading this. Like, it gets me in the mental for sure, because the whole real man statement is, I feel like it's a very old-fashioned thing, and a lot of older people do this to younger generations, especially like the Gen Z kids. I'm within that group as well. And it's really frustrating to hear, like, if you want to get to the Gen Zers, you don't want to just, and even millennials, I feel, is the whole real man, real woman stigma, like these gender roles that are obviously, like, they work, but I feel as though they're outdated and not up to speed with just the new social and, yeah, just like social dynamics that we have nowadays. And so, I don't know, that real man, just that term really frustrates me and boils my blood a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. Continuing on. Nobody said anything about it for the rest of their stay, and all seemed well the morning they left. They left at 3 in the morning to catch a flight, and we waved them off. I went back to bed, but the next morning awoke to find my Millennium Falcon smashed to pieces, with a note from my wife's mother calmly saying that this was for my own good so that I could be a real man and focus on what matters. It turns out she had quietly destroyed it in the night and left in the morning. Me, and especially my son, were very upset. I called her in the morning, but she refused to apologize. I said that until she apologized, they would not be coming back again. My wife is not happy with my decision on this matter, and honestly, I'm starting to wonder if I overreacted. Did I go overboard, or am I in the right? So far, reading this, I feel as though, no, I don't think this person is overreacting or is an asshole for this. It's something you worked hard on. Whether or not that's a Millennium Falcon or a little sculpture made of popsicle sticks, it's something that he put time into, and his son also put time into, something they made together and genuinely enjoyed. So no, I don't exactly think it's he's being an asshole here. I feel like he is setting a boundary where he doesn't want his in-laws or anybody coming over and, just destroying his work and his property. Now, whether you could argue that maybe he's overreacting in the sense where he's just completely disallowing his in-laws to come over, you might be able to make an argument for that, but depending on the way he reacted, if he did this as soon as he found this, or if he took some time to cool off and this was a decision he made that wasn't entirely influenced by his emotional state at the time, which, I mean, even if it was, I feel like it's justified. I would be upset too if someone ruined something that I had spent so much time on building and with someone I cared about so deeply, as a son, or literally my son. I would just be so upset. So, yeah, I think he's in the right for being upset. There's an update to this, so I'm gonna see what the update says. First off, I want to thank everyone for the outpouring of support. It's been wonderful seeing everyone's advice that has helped me realize a few things. I had a good long talk with my wife in an attempt to resolve the situation. We've again called the mother-in-law, which I hoped would diffuse the situation and bring things back down to earth. Instead, tensions have only escalated. For anyone who didn't see the original post, my wife's parents came to visit for a week, in which things went relatively smoothly, aside from some disparaging comments about my Lego collection from the mother-in-law after they left in the night, which we discovered the Millennium Falcon was destroyed. Firstly, after lunch, my wife and I discussed the situation adult to adult. I expressed my feelings of her not being behind me in this. She admitted to having harbored feelings against my Lego collection. She also admitted to secretly agreeing partially with my mother. She doesn't think that my mother-in-law should have gone as far as she did, but according to my wife, I need to move on. I feel hurt by this since it's been my lifelong hobby. In being an engineer, I take great joy in building various creations with Legos. After that, my wife and I were certainly not in agreement, but we were at least on the same page. We also both wanted to resolve things with my mother-in-law, and so that day we called her. And things did not go well, to say the least. I simply told her that I was sorry I had to not let her come back. Sorry, it's just a little confusing the way it's written there. And I hope things can be resolved quickly. Still feeling upset about the Lego Millennium Falcon, I said that all I asked of her was an apology. She refused, saying that if she bends for me at all, I would never get over my Lego obsession. My wife is not happy with any of this, and frankly, the marriage is starting to show tensions, which worries me greatly. She seems to be more distant after all this. My son has developed a strong disliking of my mother in law, and I really can't blame him. She has been getting a little crazy and seems to only talk about Trump these days. Should we start considering a senior home for her? Okay. So, this is the latest update that I can see on this. And, honestly, I think this is, now I don't want to discriminate for age, but I have grandparents in my life, and I know some older people that are in my family are, very stubborn sometimes when it comes to just having hobbies in general. Like, these people, especially in the Western world, I feel as though came up in a way where they had to really, really work for what they had. And this is something that I have noticed quite a lot, and this isn't excusing their behavior whatsoever. This is merely just explaining it and showing where their actions are coming from. And it's obviously coming from I feel like, a good place. But the issue is the way that they represent it by their actions and what they say. Now, I do not agree at all with destruction of property of any kind, even if that is coming from a good place. I don't think things like that really represent you well, or are just not well in general. So I don't know if this person has talked to their wife since, but it seems as though the wife may have been affected in their childhood by these same beliefs, and she probably garners some of the same sentiments as her mother-in-law does, which at its core is not really a terrible thing, because your wife's a little younger and she has more of an opportunity to change and maybe see your side way more and maybe empathize a little. But I think at the end of the day, you're in the right still. I don't think it's childish at all to have a hobby like this. I mean, he is an engineer. It makes a lot of sense why he would love to build Legos. It's one of those, it relates to what he does in a way. I feel like engineering and in Legos could have a lot of connections in just the way your mind works and the way you want to express your creativity as a person. And so I think you should hold your ground here. I think you're in the right. I think, if this is showing tensions in your marriage, I feel as though you need to try again to make up with your mother-in-law. And I think you should also try to explain to your wife about just where this comes from, where your hobby comes from, where your love for this comes from. And I feel like she might better understand. I feel as though this is coming from a place of influence from her parents, her mother specifically. And I think there's something that you might be able to do to get through to her. And obviously don't bring the kid into this. He hasn't asked for this conflict. He's just a child. I saw them mention it. I don't think they would, but just as a heads up, I don't think the child should be influenced or brought into it in any means. But he did. I mean, he got his Millennium Falcon destroyed. He helped build it, so it's understand why he may side with the father here. They're kind of conveniently on the same side, I think, with this whole Lego thing, just naturally. But yeah. Well, I mean, that's about it. I had 2 stories lined up. I had a third one, but the poster took it down. I actually had two other ones lined up, but both of them were taken down conveniently right before I wanted to record this. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this, me just yapping along and reading Reddit stories while this beta footage plays. Also, if you get to the end, just let me know. Should I include sounds in this from the gameplay. I've had a few friends tell me that it might be a good idea. I'm probably going to put some music in the background while I talk, some Minecraft music. Uh, yeah, just let me know. Also, the server I'm playing on, it's called retromc.org. It's it's a beta server. It's got a nice little community, and I recorded my video on here, so I wanted to include that in the video. That'll be in the comments. I'll include the IP to the server in the comments. And I also wanted to include that I got some inspiration for this video from a YouTuber named Baby Jamie and Dialco, who plays a lot of beta, and Baby Jamie, who does these Reddit stories. And I've just been having a really good time watching these guys talk and play the game. So I decided to combine both of their things that they do into like one idea, and I thought it'd be interesting. Well, I mean, I hope this was entertaining at least a little bit for whoever's watching, and I hope that you had a good listen to my advice about these stories, and I'm probably gonna make some more. I'm not sure when. I don't have an exact schedule, but hope you guys enjoyed. I guess like the video and comment down below if you have any suggestions for what I should do differently. I think I'm definitely recording the next video with sound, but yeah, just let me know and I'll try to implement it in the best way that I see fit. And yeah, well, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out.